It all started with a piece of paper. Most legal documents are routine, signed, stamped, and filed away, quietly building the story of our lives. But sometimes, a single document screams that something is wrong. This was one of those times. It landed on the desk of Maria, a paralegal known for catching mistakes. She checked the date, the signature, and the notary stamp. A knot tightened in her stomach. The document was a deed transfer, moving a valuable property from one person to another. The signature belonged to a woman who, according to records, had died months earlier. Maria had processed the woman's death certificate herself. This new deed shouldn't exist. She pulled up the woman's file. There was the will, the death certificate, and now this impossible deed. The notary was the same one who'd handled other family documents. The seal looked right, but the timing was a glaring red flag. Maria called over her colleague, Sarah. "Take a look at this," she said. Sarah saw it immediately. The date, the name, the notary seal. Two women in a quiet office were the first to sense the lie. The official story of a woman's death had been tampered with. This wasn't just a mistake. It was the start of a trail that would expose a shocking betrayal. They knew they had to dig deeper. The paper in front of them was more than a document. It was a warning, and they were ready to follow it. To understand this story, you need to know what a notary public does. A notary is a state-appointed official who verifies identities and ensures documents are signed willingly. Their seal is a promise of legitimacy. A mobile notary takes this role on the road, traveling to homes, hospitals, and offices, often during life's most vulnerable moments. Their presence protects everyone involved. The entire system relies on their integrity. A notary's logbook is a sacred record, detailing every notarization, date, time, and name. This logbook can be used as evidence in court. Faking an entry or backdating a signature isn't just illegal. It shatters the trust that holds our legal system together. In this case, the mobile notary was a key figure. He'd worked with the family before and was seen as trustworthy. His stamp was supposed to guarantee authenticity, but as Maria and Sarah would soon discover, that stamp had been used to construct a lie designed to steal from a grieving family. The notary's role was about to be exposed. The system meant to protect had been weaponized, and the truth was about to come out. Months before the suspicious deed, the story began in a much more ordinary way. Eleanor, in her final days, wanted her affairs in order. Her family called a mobile notary to her home. The notary checked her ID, confirmed she understood the power of attorney document, and watched her sign. He stamped the paper, logged the details, and left. Everything was by the book. The document was filed, and no one doubted its authenticity. The notary's seal was the official guarantee that Eleanor had knowingly signed. After her death, the estate process began smoothly. The power of attorney played its part. The notary had fulfilled his role. Or so it seemed. No one imagined his stamp would appear again, on a document dated after Eleanor was gone. But it did. The quiet routine of the records office shattered when the second document arrived. It was a quitclaim deed, transferring Eleanor's home to one family member. The signature was supposedly Eleanor's, witnessed by the same notary, months after her death. Maria compared the new deed to the original power of attorney. The notary's signature and seal matched perfectly. It was as if the notary had witnessed a ghost. If this deed was fraudulent, someone was trying to steal a house by rewriting Eleanor's final wishes. The notary was either a victim of forgery or a willing participant. Maria and Sarah's outrage grew. This wasn't just paperwork, it was the scene of a crime. Their training kicked in. They had to dig deeper. The notary's seal was their first clue. In document review, a stamp is like a fingerprint. It can tell a story all on its own. If the notary was involved, he might have left a trace. Maria and Sarah were determined to find it. The truth was hidden in the details, and they were ready to uncover it. Maria and Sarah took their investigation to the next level. Using a magnifying glass and digital scanner, they searched for tiny imperfections in the notary's seal. A notary stamp, like a tire tread, develops unique wear over time. If the same stamp was used on both documents, those flaws would match. They scanned both seals and overlaid the images. There it was, a minuscule nick in the outer ring and a darker smudge on the letter P in public. A perfect match. This was the smoking gun. It proved the same physical stamp was used on both documents. The notary himself had certified a lie. The evidence was now undeniable. Maria and Sarah had moved from suspicion to certainty. Their meticulous work had paid off. The notary's stamp, meant to symbolize truth, had become the key to exposing fraud. Tiny flaws in the seal revealed a much larger flaw in the notary's character. The case was breaking open. With the stamp evidence secured, Maria and Sarah turned to the notary's records. By law, every mobile notary must keep a detailed log of their work. Their supervisor subpoenaed the notary's logbooks for the critical period. The logs told a story of impossibility. On the date the fraudulent deed was signed, the notary was working over 200 miles away. His journal showed a full day of notarizations for a corporate client, nowhere near Eleanor's home. There was no entry for the deed transfer. He couldn't have been in two places at once. The notary's own records became proof of his fraud. He'd backdated the deed, never expecting anyone to check. But Maria and Sarah did. The nail was in the coffin. This case was cracked not by lawyers or detectives, but by women in roles often overlooked. Maria and Sarah, the paralegal and clerk, were the first line of defense. Their work is patient, meticulous, and often invisible. But their vigilance is vital. Maria's gut instinct came from years of experience. When she raised concerns, she was supported by her supervisor. Together, they formed a network of vigilance. They didn't just flag the problem, they owned it. Their investigation was methodical and collaborative. They protected a family from being victimized. The fraud was designed to slip through the cracks, but these women refused to let it. Their diligence held the system together. As the investigation widened, the full scope of the fraud emerged. It wasn't just one fake document. It was a scheme to disinherit Eleanor's other heirs. A family member tried to seize the estate's most valuable asset. The notary wasn't innocent. He was a key conspirator. Investigators found he'd bent the rules before, but this time he crossed into felony. He was paid off the books for his role. For a few $1,000s, he risked everything. The motive was simple: greed. The family member exploited grief and confusion, counting on the system to miss the fraud. The notary's stamp made the theft look legitimate. Together, they weaponized a process meant for protection. Estate theft like this is more common than we think. It targets the vulnerable, relying on busy systems and overlooked details. But this time, the scheme was stopped by those who cared enough to notice. This story is more than a tale of crime. It's a lesson in valuing overlooked work. Roles like Maria's and Sarah's are often labeled as administrative, underpaid, and undervalued. Yet, these positions are foundational. Their skills, attention to detail, pattern recognition, intuition, are critical oversight tools. In an age of automation, we're told to trust the system. But no algorithm would have felt Maria's unease or connected the dots as she did. When women in these roles raise a red flag, they must be heard. Their warnings are data points, not complaints. Dismissing their concerns is a security risk. Fraud flourishes when frontline expertise is ignored. We need cultures that empower and trust these guardians. Let this be a call to action. Reevaluate and respect the work so often dismissed as women's work. These women are the conscience of the system. By valuing their work and trusting their instincts, we do more than prevent fraud. We protect families, we uphold justice, and we prove that in the search for truth, no detail is too small. No voice is unimportant.